Swing. A long high fly ball deep to left field. Goodbye. A grand slam for Buster Posey.
And Blanco's going to dive, and he makes the catch. And that's a perfect game.
He's got it. The Giants are independent.
And the Giants have won the World Series in Detroit.
And the right-hander for the Giants throws. Swing and a miss! For the first time in 52 years, the Giants are world champions.
In 2010, the San Francisco Giants took their fans to baseball heaven for the very first time. And for a team based around several of the game's most brilliant young stars, the future seemed every bit as bright as the glorious present.
San Francisco Giants, World Series champions. Let's enjoy this today, tomorrow, for a week, maybe even a month. Then let's get back to work and make another run at it.
But the Giants soon discovered just how hard it is to climb the mountain a second time. In 2011, the team lost its way after losing its heart and soul. Entering the 2012 season, the Giants were a team filled with hope, but surrounded by uncertainty.
As we approached spring training, I mean, we all knew we had a good club. It was just 2 years ago when we won the World Series, and you know, we had a setback the year before, and of course with Buster Posey getting hurt, you know, that didn't help our cause. But you know, we felt that we could get back on track.
From a team perspective, you know, the mindset was, I think, similar to what it was, you know, the last handful of years, which is we got a great pitching staff. We had acquired Pagan, who was just, you know, infectious from the start, you know, a real team guy. And we had the natural pillars in the clubhouse, you know, Kane and Lincecum and, you know, Posey coming back from the injury in Sandoval. You know, but at that point, I didn't have any clear indication that it was going to be something special.
Spring training, you have 7 weeks to get ready for the season, to prepare and, you know, go through your fundamentals, and it's the players' time to get ready. And we had a couple concerns, and I'm not gonna lie, Barry Zito was a major concern with how things were going for him in the spring. And to his credit, he was working his tail off, but the results weren't happening. In fact, we had to put him in a minor league camp to see if we could help him get back on track.
Zito in spring training was awful. He had pitched 19 innings. He had allowed 45 base runners. He was as lost and in a fog as I've ever seen him. And he had 1 start left in spring, and they took him out of the rotation. They put him down in a minor league game, and he and Righetti made some changes.
The team entered 2012 as a work in progress, and the season's first series showed just how much work there was to do.
The team that broke out of camp, I didn't think for 1 second was going to be a team that we were going to see very deep in the season. I thought it was going to be a team that was going to be a work in progress, which it always is with Brian Saber.
We opened the season in Arizona, and we got swept, and that was kind of a rude awakening. You know, we had such optimistic expectations of ourselves.
We were feeling really good. We had a great spring training. Everybody was doing well. And we didn't pitch and we didn't perform the way that we wanted to. Madison, Timmy, and I just didn't pitch the way that we'd like to pitch. And it didn't work out very well. And we had to get something going because the offense was there. They were already there from spring training and then into the first 3 games in Arizona. But we kind of let those guys down.
We didn't expect to get swept, especially the way we lost 3 straight there. And that's 1-run ball games. Including one that we had a 6-run lead with Matt Cain out there pitching for us.
So now the season starts off, and they go 0-3 in Arizona, the incumbent champs of the National League West, and you're thinking, this is not good.
As a manager, you never stop thinking what you can do to help your club, or you know what you know needs to be done. Doesn't matter what part of the season you're in. Even though you just played 3 games, you're a little concerned because you just lost 3 straight 1-run ball games, and the guy going for you in Game 4 in Colorado, a very tough place to pitch in, is Barry Zito, who came off the worst spring out of any of our starters. So we had our backs against the wall.
And Zito's out there going into Arte, and I'm thinking, he ain't going to get out of the third inning. I sincerely thought that.
So we went into Colorado, which is not an easy place to play, and I get the ball. It's a Monday day game. And, you know, I had that confidence. I was still in the cutter. I went out and just started making pitches in Colorado, and, you know, pretty soon it was the 9th inning, and I was facing the 3, 4, 5 hitters in that inning. Got a couple fly balls, and, you know, threw my first shutout in a San Francisco uniform, which was a huge accomplishment for me personally and for the team. You know, I think it stopped the skid of the sweep and said, hey, you know, we're still the San Francisco Giants. And we started rolling from there.
And he stuffed him. He 4-hit him. He threw the first shutout ever by a San Francisco Giant in Colorado. And we looked around and we just said, what happened? Where did that come from? He was beautiful.
I saw one of the most incredible performances I've ever seen from a guy who really, his confidence couldn't have been high. He wasn't commanding the ball very well at that time. And going into to play the Rockies in their ballpark and to do what he did is one of the best outings I've ever seen by a pitcher.
The joy of victory number 1 was short-lived. In the series finale at Colorado, the Giants won a game, but lost much more.
Well, we start this edition of Sportsnet Central with potentially mega bad news for the San Francisco Giants. A recent MRI of closer Brian Wilson's throwing elbow has revealed what the Giants are calling structural issues.
You know, I'll always remember him getting a save, you know, after he hurt his arm. I mean, we were concerned after his velocity went down there, but he finished that hitter, got a save. He said he knew he probably tore it. He didn't want to come out.
It's natural to say, man, this is going to stink. That was a huge kick to our gut. I mean, if this really does happen, we were sitting in the bullpen like, you got to be kidding me, man. We're having to deal with our all-star closer going down, not even a week into the season. Like, okay, how are we going to do this here? Because this bullpen is set up with him trying to get the ball to him.
It's a tough blow anytime you lose your closer, but you're fortunate to have the kind of relievers that we had that could soften that blow. Not just soften it, but get it done.
Bullpen by committees do not work, in my opinion, and I'm very vocal in the clubhouse and to the coaching staff about them not working. And I remember Rags looking right at me and he says, and we're going to need you to be on board for this to work. And it was almost like he was peering through me saying, please don't fight us on this. And, you know, something about a manager saying, you know what, I know that this isn't the best idea a lot of times in most bullpens, but I believe in this bullpen. Just get on board because that's the only way it's going to work. You got on board.
With the entire club on board, the Giants began to play better baseball and climbed back to the 500 mark. But a sizzling start by their arch rivals threatened to put a quick end to a pennant race that had barely begun. By late May, the Dodgers had opened up a 7.5-game lead.
Here's the Dodgers just gotten off to an unbelievable start. In fact, in the first month, a lot of people, I think, thought the race was over. It just goes to show you it is a marathon, and you got to keep grinding out there. But it didn't look good for us to get back as far as we did.
The Giants' greatest concern had been their cleanup hitter's return from a career-threatening injury. But as the spring progressed, it became clear that Buster Posey would be able to perform with few limitations.
To start the season, I was happy to be back on the field, excited to be with the guys and getting to play this game I love so much again, and really just was trying my best to be on the field as much as I could. And I give a lot of credit to our training staff, the doctors that we have here on this team, and for the amount that I was able to play.
Going into the season, I was a little concerned how much I could play him, but as we got into the first month there, I was comfortable that he was back. A couple of times the ankle got a little cranky, but he was doing so well, and he was playing some first base, and really not complaining, and we made sure he got his days off, but I really felt that it's only going to get better, and we're going to be able to play him a lot more than we thought we could have.
When we went to Milwaukee, he was excited about going there. He likes to hit in that ballpark. And then I think he ends up rattling off, 3 or 4 homers. hitting one almost off of his own picture in center field. And I think that's really when we were all kind of like, all right, this is when he's going to get going. He got hot with some homers that series, and I think it carried over into the rest of the year.
The strong play of their superstar catcher pushed the Giants to a higher level. Soon, he and staff ace Matt Cain would combine to create a night that San Francisco will never forget.
I remember just showing up to the park like it was a normal day, and then kind of remembering that I had to pitch that day, and Dustin Johnson was coming out to hit golf balls, and I remember being kind of upset about it because I was thinking I'm not going to be able to take any swings with him. Guys hitting golf balls from home plate out into the bay in right field.
And Matt Cain wanted to hit a golf ball. He's known for how far he can hit the ball, and I had a little concern about him throwing his back out, swinging as hard as he could, and see how far he could hit in the bay there.
And I talked Boch into letting me doing it, and Sabian, I don't know that he was too fond of it, but he kind of gave me the okay to do it, and I went ahead. You try to find ways to be relaxed and kind of take it back to being a little kid and having fun with it, and that kind of did it for me, and it showed up somehow into the game later on that night.
As Cain strikes out Schaefer.
But I remember getting into like the first, second, third inning, and then kind of get through the third inning, kind of realizing what I had going on.
High fastball struck him out.
Then I started getting further into the fourth, fifth inning, having Melky catch that ball in the sixth inning. And I thought the perfect game was over then.
There's a deep drive by Chris Snyder. Cabrera will catch it at the wall.
Every inning, as he got closer to this, you could see that they got ahead. Then it was pretty apparent that they were going to win the game. Then it was a matter of they getting a hit. Then all of a sudden it was game on after the seventh inning. Is he going to throw his perfect game?
And this is hit out into the alleyway. A long run for Blanco, and Blanco's going to dive, and he makes the catch! Just an unbelievable catch here in the seventh inning.
It was a sign. For me, it was a sign. It's unbelievable, and you can see the appreciation and the emotion and how much King wanted himself, the fist bump that you gave him, and a big old hug that you gave when he came in the dugout.
At that point in time, I'm more thinking, you know what, I almost need to get this done for these guys out in the field because I feel like they were laying everything out on the line. They had already scored me, a bunch of runs and made that comfortable, so all I had to do was really focus on what I needed to do during the game.
Got him! 13 strikeouts for Matt Cain.
I just remember being probably more nervous going out there for the 8th and 9th inning than I have ever been at any moment in any postseason game.
Now looking into Buster Posey. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On the ground, Arias from deep third. Got him! And that's a perfect game.
It's a big, you'll never forget. As far as perfect games, when I think there's only been 23 thrown in the history of the game, that shows you how difficult that is. It's something that we'll always remember.
I've always been a fan of the game and understand how rare a perfect game is. And Cain is, he's become a good friend of mine over the past few years, and I wanted it bad for him. Just seeing that last out was a great feeling.
Congratulations, Matt Cain. You just pitched the first perfect game in Giants franchise history.
It was definitely difficult to wrap my head around it right at the beginning. I had, 80 to 100 something messages, I think. Text messages on my phone. I think my voicemail was full. It was cool. It was cool to know that many people had, maybe recognized it somehow from a friend telling them whatever to watching the game. And then them just kind of, sending out some love about, they watched it or they were happy. So it was definitely a whirlwind of emotions. And I think it's kind of, in a way, it's really almost settling in now.
I really believe that game symbolized a little bit about our club and also help bring our club together, help us gel as a team. Because when you throw a perfect game, it takes everybody doing something. Sure, Matt's going to get the accolades as he should. Even Matt made sure that he thanked everybody, including Blanco with that great catch. Arias with his play, but Buster Posey putting fingers down. That was a team coming together to help Matt accomplish something historic, and I really believe that played a part in bringing our club together.
Matt Cain's historic achievement fueled a surge in the standings, and when the Dodgers came to town for the first time on June 25th, the Giants sensed a major opportunity.
As long as we stayed in good, distance to the Dodgers in front of us, that we felt like we had a good chance, and we felt like if we took advantage of, the times we played against them, we were going to have a good chance.
When the Dodgers came in town, now we've made up some ground to where now we got our confidence going, and the closer you get, the more you believe, and so that's where we were as a club.
Skies one to left. Hit very well. Abreu back.
It was a very special series because Giants-Dodgers always being special. But more importantly, our pitching staff threw up 3 shutouts in a row. And to do that at home against the Dodgers, and especially, against the team that we're battling with in the division, that was a historical moment.
Got him. And he got him. Got him. Ooh. See you later.
We ended up shutting them out the whole entire weekend, and I think that really pushed us into playing throughout the rest of the season, because we knew that we had already closed that gap that they had made, that big gap that they had made throughout the beginning of the year.
Got him, and that's the ball game. Giants are now tied with the Dodgers for first place in the National League West, and they sweep the Dodgers, and the Dodgers do not score a run in this 3-game series.
That really brought a unity to our pitching staff. We had a pride after those 3 games that, we can shut down teams significantly. It doesn't matter who's starting. And I think we just started to roll from then.
In the month following their sweep of the Dodgers, the Giants continued to play well, developing the character of a team that is never out of a game. But their arch rivals refused to go away. And when the teams met again in late July, the series went LA's way.
After we swept them, they got some revenge on us and beat up on us pretty good. And it was kind of a role reversal because we were banged up at the time and missing a couple players. And they took advantage of it, which you should. And it's all about being resilient because when you play 162 games, you're not going to play well every day. You're going to have your little slumps, whether you as an individual or as a club collectively. And so it's important that you realize that as you go into the season and don't get down or hang your head and handle it the way you should be. And that's with your head up high and get ready for the next day.
General Manager Brian Sabian knew that in a fiercely contested race, acquiring the right reinforcements could make the difference. On July 27th, the Giants took a huge step towards winning the pennant.
We'll get things started with a trade alert. The San Francisco Giants finalized that trade with the Colorado Rockies for infielder Marco Scutaro.
His versatility, his experience. This is not to discourage players on our team, but you look at the Dodger bench and look at our bench.
When we acquired Marco, I had personal experience with Marco from the years in Oakland. And I couldn't have been more excited, A, to have him off of the team that we were facing, and B, to have him on our team. And I remember certain guys would come up to me and be like, hey, you played with Marco, is he really a gamer, like they say? I was like, all I remember from those years with Marco was that he would get the big hit every time.
I'm excited, first of all, because now it gives us some more flexibility, more versatility that we could use, and also got to play third base. Well, we brought Marco in, and he has played there, I think, 3 or 4 years, and he said, no problem. And ended up getting a nickname Blockbuster, which he earned, and just did an incredible job for us.
But the first guy, which I heard calling me Blockbuster, was Javi Lopez.
Now Scudero lights one into left field, and that'll score for God.
Every time I score a run or every time I did something good, he was shaking my hand. He was like, Blockbuster, and I was like, I don't even know what it means. I don't know.
That's a base hit. Pagan gets shot home.
Because I did something good. I don't care.
There are those who believe the Dodgers are now the hunted in the National League West. The Giants are most definitely the hunter. They made a big deal prior to today's trade deadline, getting all-star outfielder Hunter Pence and some cash from the Phillies.
I'm really happy to be here. It's been a warm welcome. I mean, there's still fans here. They're crazy excited. We got the win today. Since I've been at the airport, everyone's just been really cool, and it looks like we're in a race. It's going to be some madness going on. I'm looking forward to it.
I was a little overwhelmed because it was like, cameras everywhere, and I just came out of the car, and, it was like, I don't know, they made this big buzz about it. It's pretty amazing to just jump into a club that's, fighting for first place. I think we were a game ahead of the Dodgers, and really, really, I'm just excited.
Hit high and deep to left center field. It is out of here. Welcome to AT&T Park. Hunter Pence. On the ground. That's the ball game. Scudero shoots it past Johnson, and the Giants come back and win this one in the 10th.
We knew we didn't need too much, but with the guys that they brought in, we knew that those were going to be a huge help for us because we were having a little bit of holes in those spots.
Pence is definitely outgoing, and has meshed great. And then Scudero compliments him in the fact that he's just steady Eddie. He comes to the park each day. He goes through his routine, and they're both winners. And anytime you're able to pick up guys like that, it's going to help the ball club.
Number 53, Melky. That one is hit well. Left center field, way back there, and adios, Pinota, Melky Cabrera. That run, it's up, and Cabrera with a terrific running pitch. And it was the third hit of the night for Melky Cabrera. That was the winner.
For 4 months, Melky Cabrera had been a sensation, one of the best players in all of baseball. What came next, on August 15th, was a stunning blow to the team.
All-Star Game MVP Melky Cabrera suspended for 50 games without pay Wednesday after the Giants outfielder tested positive for testosterone.
Brian Saban, he came in my office about an hour and a half before the game and told me I had to scratch Melky. And first I thought he was kidding, then he explained what happened, and I was stunned. I was shocked by all of us. And the best way we thought to handle it was Brian and I got in front of the club and just talked about the situation, and that we still have the talent to get this done. And again, it's how we handle this, how we deal with it.
They kind of break the news to us, and kind of what we should, how we should handle it with media, and trying to get past it as a team. And I definitely think it showed that day in our games.
And that's it. The Suzuki hangs on, and that's the ball game.
So it's kind of like, we kind of had to deal like it was an injury. The guy was not, he wasn't going to be with us through the year.
So the day we heard about Melky was a pretty interesting day because not only had the Melky thing happened, which was a huge blow to our team, to our city, to the fans, and really to our hopes of getting to a postseason. We're losing the guy that's basically carried us the whole year. And I remember telling some of the guys on the staff at that point, I was like, all right, boys, well, we're going to have to pitch our ass off here.
In the absence of their star outfielder, the Giants refused to fold. Just 5 days after Melky's suspension, the Giants had to be ready for their next encounter with the Dodgers.
And a little flare to left, and this is going to fall. And Victorino's got a shot. Here's the throw home, and no! The Colts and what a play! Justin Christian with an incredible catch. Way back there, Kim. No, it's gone! Adios, and the Giants have a 3-0 lead.
As they had in June, the Giants swept the Dodgers, giving them a leg up in the division race. Now it was LA's turn, for a counter move.
On MVP, the Dodgers' extreme makeover is amped up big time. They've acquired Adrian Gonzalez, Carl Crawford, Josh Beckett, and Nick Punto from Boston.
With the Dodgers changing ownership throughout the season, and they kind of get finally finalized that throughout the year that those guys were not going to just go away. And when they showed that, they showed that, hey, they're going to put some guys out there. They're going to trade for a lot of guys. They did some huge trades to get some guys over there. And guys really took it to heart and wanted to play well and kind of show that, you know what, even what those guys are doing down there in LA, we still feel like we're the better team at the time, and we wanted to win.
You can buy all the players you want mid-season. You can't buy chemistry. And when you have that many players come in, guys who were named players, well, it's only natural in Los Angeles that these guys are going to try and be the guy. He's going to try and, well, when you try to be the guy, you're no longer playing baseball. You're playing home run derby, and they had a bunch of guys doing that. All the little things that you need to do to win baseball games, they were doing. And they were doing it as good baseball teams do, consistently, confidently. And the Dodgers weren't doing that. And so it really was no surprise as to how this Giants team left the Dodger team in the dust.
The close-knit Giants were outperforming their high-priced rivals, but this play had one final act set for September, the final meeting in San Francisco.
Little play to right, it's a hit. One run scored. Here comes Crawford. He's going to score. Down to second goes Scutaro, and the Giants take the lead. Swing a high drive into deep center. Way back, Victorino. Way back. Score! A home run from Buster Posey.
Yeah, by us taking the series now, not only puts us farther ahead, but it does something to the confidence of your ball club, and maybe something to their ball club. The team just seemed like it was a foot taller after that series.
The Giants had conclusively proved which team ruled the West. All that remained was the coronation.
You guys kind of really, stepped on the gas a little bit and wanted to get it over with because it was such a relief to be able to have that done early. It was fun to be able to sit back this time and kind of watch guys go through it the first time.
And that's it. The Giants, for the second time in 3 years, are National League West champions.
It's a first step. If you're going to come more, we have to keep working hard. Free agency so hard, get how we can, so we try to do the best.
You're going to the playoffs for the first time in your career. What's it feel like?
It's unbelievable. I've been waiting a long time for this one, buddy. We lost Weeze. We lost Melky. People said we couldn't do it, and we're going to playoffs. We'll see what happens.
The Giants had spent a 6-month regular season establishing themselves among baseball's best. But after just 2 days of the postseason, they were on the brink of elimination.
Now we've had some time to get ready for the playoffs, and as a manager, you're always concerned about having too much time. And for us to clinch as early as we did, we thought it was critical for us to continue to play good ball.
We had home field advantage. They came to us, and they kind of stunned us. I'm not going to lie. I mean, game one, they put up a significant amount of runs.
He's starting to carry. Blanco at the wall. He leaps, and it is gone. As the Reds dugout goes crazy.
Game two, significant amount of runs.
So there's a high drive in the medium deep center. It's still going. It's still going. It is gone.
Ryan Ludwig just came out on fire first 2 games and a little bit shell-shocked.
We must have been as cold as could be. It was definitely not the way that we wanted to start a series out at home, knowing that we had to go back and play those guys 3 games at their home field.
No team had ever rebounded from losing the first 2 games of a 5-game series at home. If the Giants were to somehow catch fire, they needed a spark.
We have nothing to lose. We're down 2-0, so the thought process is, you know what? If we go down, we're going to go out fighting, so I'm going to give everything I got. We walked into a clubhouse. Sabian pulls me aside and says, get some music cranking as loud as you possibly can. And I was like, all right.
We went into that clubhouse in Cincy that first day. I remember it. I'll always remember it. Bochy called the meeting.
There's still hope, and you have to believe that. And so as a manager, you're trying to think of ways that you hopefully can get that message across.
Hunter kind of turned it into his meeting.
Hunter came in and, you know, I kind of made a comment to him about what I was thinking.
Scooter and Lopez weren't happy with the way everyone was carrying themselves. You know, it was just like, we need to say something. Someone needs to say something because this isn't, we're not going to have, you know, have a fighting chance unless, you know, we change. And when I started paying attention, I was like, yeah, I think, yeah, we might need something to be said.
His eyes were about to pop out of his head. He was pacing all around. And he understood right there what this game means to this guy. And he understood the opportunity that he had and that we all had.
They were kind of like war speeches, man, getting ready, guys ready to go out there for battle.
What he did out of my 19, 20 years of managing, I haven't seen a player get up like he did with the emotion and passion that he talked with, how much he loved these guys.
In a weird way, it calmed a lot of our nerves, I think, because we all felt that unity and that we're doing this. We're not doing this for personal reasons. We're doing this to try to make memories that we'll be able to share forever.
In Game 3, Ryan Vogelsong and 4 relievers kept the Giants alive into extra innings. All the while, 1 run from oblivion. In the 10th, the Reds blinked first.
Arias bounces one left side, rolling, tough hop, knocks it down, picks it up, throws to first, not in time! Posey scores!
In short series like that, you know, momentum can change real quick. And I was looking for that little moment, and everything started when Roland made the error in third base.
Roland's miscue had opened the door a crack. The next day, the Giants stormed through.
Now he swings. It's a high drive deep into right center field. And gone! A home run for Pagan!
He threw me a cutter. I thought he was going to throw me a changeup, but he threw me a cutter that he left it hanging in the zone, and I just put a very solid contact, and it just went out of the park.
Given a lead, Zito couldn't make it through the 3rd inning. But Bruce Bochy had a trump card to play. Throughout the season, the mysterious struggles of Tim Lincecum had made headline news. Now, Lincecum had embraced a new role and rediscovered his dominance.
Lincecum throws. Swing and a miss. He struck him out to end the inning.
Still had confidence in Timmy starting, but we only needed 4 starters, and we thought, I mean, what a great weapon this would be with having a bullpen and give us, you know, multiple innings in the middle of a game. I got to tell Timmy what the plan is, and it was pretty matter of fact that we were in the weight room. Timmy was unbelievable, and how unselfish he was, and he said, hey, that's what you think? Yeah, I'm all in. I just want us to move forward and win the World Series.
Like, just taking it in was so much fun for me. I got to be out there, got a chance to hang out with my teammates in a different fashion than I'm used to. Also, you know, just kind of sitting there, like I've described it as just kind of being halfway oblivious to things going on, just so I don't stress out too much until I hear my name, and then I can get my focus.
Really was just dominant. It was like the old stuff that you used to see with the fastball cutting and sinking, and the changeup just dropping off the table.
Those were the most important innings. If you look back, it kind of just put the fire out for some of these teams. The starter got tired, or for whatever reason came out of the game. He came in and shut the door.
Sandoval hits a high drive to right, down the line. It is out of here.
Now we have Game 5, and we're facing one of the best young pitchers in the game, and who's been very, very tough, very hard on us, Latos, and we have a guy that's he's going for us. He's done a tremendous job too.
And I'm thinking about what I need to do to get that done on the mound, and try to have fun with it and not really overthink it too much.
Kane matched zeros with Latos for 4 innings, giving his club a chance to score first. And Brandon Crawford came through with a tie-breaking hit. But to complete their historic comeback, they needed something special from their superstar. After the top of the order set the table, number 28 took over.
Latos is tough, and when you have an opportunity to put some runs on the board, you try to seize that opportunity. And I was just trying to make sure that run from third got in, because I believe there was 1 out. And try to get something up in there in the outfield.
Here's a swing. A long, high fly ball deep to left field. And upper deck. Goodbye. A grand slam for Buster Posey.
We had the table set up for the guy that we wanted up there with the game on the line, Buster, and found a way to get it done.
Huge blow. I mean, that was the difference, I think, in the entire postseason, because right then we knew that this is a force to be reckoned with. We just came back. We beat, Latros.
A 6-run lead was anything but comfortable. The powerful Reds chipped away, held at bay by tenacious pitching and timely defense. The critical moment came in the 9th, when Sergio Romo, knowing that a single mistake would end San Francisco's season, staged a 12-pitch battle with slugger Jay Bruce.
Definitely had to challenge myself a lot. Definitely thought of my teammates a lot.
And right now, Bruce is in the protect mode.
I knew that I had to make my pitches, and I had to make good pitches. If I made a mistake, he was going to hurt me.
Get the 2 strikes, and they get tougher. Yeah, they grind you down, no question.
There's no way I was losing that battle. Not in that situation. I couldn't. I really, really couldn't. And I just owed it to everybody to get it done.
A swing and a high fly ball to left field, coming in on it. Navy in the sunshine, moving to his right, makes the catch. And Romo survives that duel.
I get him out. And then there's Scotty rolling coming up. I'm going, oh my God. So work is definitely not finished.
The 1-2 pitch. Slider struck him out swinging. The Giants have won it. And the celebration begins.
Unreal. Just really glad I was the one standing in us, San Francisco Giants. Moving on, boys. Let's go. That's kind of the mindset afterwards. Let's do it. Let's celebrate and go home.
In the National League Championship Series, the Giants quickly resumed their role as underdog by dropping the opener on their home field. Then in the first inning of Game 2, an even bigger disaster loomed.
Crawford to second one, and then Scooter on a first, not in time, and he got hit hard and taken down by Matt Holliday. Everybody in that Cardinal uniform knew it was wrong. Everybody. Collectively, to a man, they defended him by a hard baseball. Right? That was a bad play, and they all knew it.
Scutaro stayed in the game, and the Giants had barely avoided a catastrophic injury. The near miss seemed to galvanize the team.
Deep into right field, way back there, and that ball is gone! A home run for Pagan!
I did it. When I got on base, I looked to my teammates, very intense. Let's go. Who's gonna follow me? That's the meaning. Who's gonna follow me? Come on, guys. Thank you. Who's gonna follow me? Who's gonna do damage?
Scooter, line drive, base hit, left center field. Blanco scores. Crawford scores. Hogan, Matt Holliday. Pagan scores. They all score.
But the club was unable to carry its momentum into St. Louis. The Cardinals seized control of the series by winning Games 3 and 4. And just like that, the Giants were back on the brink of elimination.
St. Louis has always been a town for me where I've seen a lot of things happen. They haven't always been good, but I know how difficult it is to turn back that organization because they have enormous pride. They have enormous fan support, and when they're all stacked up against you in their arena, to turn that back that's a very difficult thing to do.
Game 5 for me was just a career-changing start. It's kind of funny how things so big can hinge on one game, but in retrospect they can. Going into it, you can't see it that way.
He even said it before the game. He said, you know what, hey, I'm leaving it all out here on the line. I'm doing what I can. Let's go out there and have fun. We've been in this situation before, but I'm going to guarantee you that I'm leaving it all out there. And he did.
Here's the scratch the pitch. Struck him out. Swinging strike 3.
He was Superman that game, and that's a game that he should look back and hopefully watch a few times because he single-handedly won that game for us.
His command has been impeccable. 1-2 pitch on the way. Beltran strikes out swinging.
And he did it. That to me was just awesome because of who it was against, and where it was. All those things to me were extremely impressive. And Zito was a true champion that night.
Given a chance to return home, the Giants called on another starter who understands adversity. Ryan Vogelsong had taken the long road from journeyman to all-star, and in Game 6, he took the ball for the biggest start of his life.
You dream of situations like this. You know, the postseason, your back's against the wall. You know, I can remember standing in the backyard throwing the ball up going, Game 7 of the World Series, 3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded, you know? And it wasn't quite to that point yet, but we were close. And so I just had this feeling that I can't be nervous, I can't be scared, because this is what I've been waiting for. You know, this is why I play this game.
Posey sitting up away again on the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Victim number 9. And that is a career-high strikeouts for Vogelsong.
The pitch. Slider lifted to center. In a little bit. Pagan. He's under it. He's got it. And the Giants have set up that Game 7.
I felt like, you know what, here it is. I've got to pitch the clincher. Could decide our season right here. And I'm thinking about, don't ruin it, or just go out there and do good. I've got all these emotions going through my head. And at one point, finally, I think throughout the day, I was thinking, hey, let's just go out there and pitch and have fun.
And he struck him out swinging with the high, hard one.
Kane kept the Cardinals off the board long enough for his team to grab an early lead. Then in the third, the game took a decisive turn on one of the strangest and most memorable plays in Giants history.
Pitch to Pence. And Pence, it's a line drive into left field, a base hit. Coming in to score, Scudero. Sandoval right behind him. Jay overruns it. They're going to wave in. Buster Posey scores all the way from first.
You can't feel it. You can't see it. You know, it's me swinging as hard as I can at like a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And I just was like, you know, Cosmo, like, did he fall down? Like, what happened? You know, and I was running. And until that slow-motion camera showed why the ball behaved the way it did, you know, it was a little bit of a confusing play. So it was pretty cool to see in slow motion what really happened.
This time, the Giants didn't have to sweat out a tense finish. They poured it on, and then they soaked it in.
It's like the baseball gods were saying here, we did this for you guys, and they were washing us with just a beautiful shower.
Probably in conditions we shouldn't play in, but at that time you can't stop the game. I think the umpires knew it, all the players knew it. You can't. There's no way you can just sit there and have a delay in that type of game in that big of a moment.
We went our way to go to the World Series, and this frame was like, that's when I started, you know, looking up and going like, you know, the same moment I was playing with the rain, but the same moment I was thanking God. I was like, wow, this must be a sign from up there.
How often that rain comes in San Francisco. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was a blessing, you know. It was meant to be for us.
And Romo delivers. Slider popped up. Scudero at second. Under it. Backpedals. He's got it. The Giants win the pennant.
The rain is falling. You know, we were on the field. It was a muddy mess out there. I mean, Bochy and Studio are holding the trophy high, and cameramen and media everywhere. I mean, it was just absolutely surreal. And what a nice ending to, you know, a situation where we were down 2-0 in GS, and now here we are going to the World Series.
In the World Series, the Giants would face a team built on powerful bats and power arms. The national media quickly installed the Detroit Tigers as heavy favorites.
When we got to the World Series, that's all we heard was, you know, the Tigers bats, and then what the Tigers had done pitching. They've been pitching so well throughout the playoffs.
This was a no-respect environment, and the only way they're going to get respect is to beat the Tigers. And that's all the momentum that they needed. That's all the incentive that they needed.
Few outside the Giants clubhouse believed the home team had a shot in Game 1. The skipper and his starter felt differently.
So now we got to get ready for the World Series, and Barry Zito's going to be our starter for the first game, and I can't get hold of Barry.
Left my phone at the clubhouse from the Monday night celebration of Game 7, so I didn't know anything. Well, I show up to the field Tuesday night for the workout, and Bo said, hey, you get my text? And I said, well, I've turned my phone on. I don't want to deal with 100 text messages right now. And he's like, well, I texted you that you're going to start tomorrow. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I said, I'm going to give you everything I got, Bo.
Zito repaid his manager's faith with another premier performance. Meanwhile, his more celebrated opponent had come face-to-face with a powerful panda who would make history.
The first game, the World Series, Verlander,
You know, everybody was like, oh, they have no chance today against Verlander.
Verlander throws. High fastball, swung out and belted. Deep into center, Jackson going back. Still going back. Adios! Pelota!
I mean, I was so happy. I think I was the first one to go, yeah!
Sandoval, it's a high fly ball to left. Young back at the wall. It is out of here.
2010, I learned a lot of things, you know, of my career. I almost lost my yell. Almost, you know, I don't have too many times the worst years that year. So I was prepared, prepare my mind, prepare myself to be, you know, another time in the World Series. I don't even think it was this was the World Series.
Pablo did something few people have ever done in the World Series.
He swings and he belts one. Deep center field. Jackson is going back. And goal! A home run! Number 3. And Pablo Sandoval looks like the babe himself has come back to life.
You know, it was a sweet victory, especially against Verlander. And I think that once Detroit saw that we beat, you know, the indestructible Verlander, that their backs were against the wall.
Power had been the theme of Game 1, but pitching would be the story in the next 2. Like several of his teammates, Madison Bumgarner had struggled earlier in the playoffs. But now he found his form, aided by a spectacular play that kept Game 2 scoreless.
Blanco over to get it, rounding third is Fielder, heading home. The relay goes to Scooter. On the throw goes Posey, the tag, and he is out!
He was out, not even close.
Behind Bumgarner's 7 strong and enough small ball to scratch out a pair of runs, the Giants were halfway to a championship.
To get a 2-0 lead, we knew no matter what, you know, this would get back to San Francisco. But at the same time, we felt, you know, we got a chance to win every one of these games.
We got to go out there and compete like we were just against the wall like every other series. I mean, we cannot take anything for granted. We got to go out there and get it done. After we get it done, we can celebrate.
The Tigers hoped a cross-country trip would swing the momentum, but the Giants refused to let the series stray from their script. Vogelsong retired Triple Crown winner Miguel Cabrera to eliminate Detroit's greatest threat. Lincecum and Romo then finished a second straight shutout, the first team in 47 years to throw 2 in a row in the World Series. The Orange and Black were 1 victory from the ultimate prize.
That's the game that we wanted to finish it at. We didn't want to go to another game, and we even had a little bit of a talk before the game about that. Some guys were kind of making sure that everybody knew, hey, let's get this thing done tonight.
In Game 4, the Giants faced wintry conditions and a foe determined to put up a fight. Cabrera finally made an impact, putting the Tigers ahead early with a wind-aided home run. But in the 5th, fellow MVP Buster Posey once again met the moment.
Posey swings and it's a high fly ball down the left field line. This one will hit. It is gone!
As the teams battled into the late innings tied, a trio of Giants pitchers worked to give their teammates a chance to win.
But the stuff that was coming out of my hand when I was warming up, I literally was like, God, please allow me to have the same stuff I have right now. Because when you have this kind of stuff in the bullpen, sometimes it doesn't translate all of a sudden out there.
In the 10th, a clutch hit by Ryan Theriot set the table. It came down to the man Giants fans most wanted to see at the plate.
Scooter lines one into center field. Jackson will have to play it on the bounce. Theriot tearing around third. Here comes the throw, the slide. He's safe at home plate. And the Giants have gone ahead 4-3.
I hit the ball and I was watching the ball travel. And I was seeing the ball and seeing the center fielder and kind of taking a look. Ball, and like I was like, please don't catch it, please just get down. And when I looked to the dugout, I saw, you know, all my teammates just jumping and celebrating like a little kids. I was like, wow, this is priceless. This moment is unbelievable.
3 outs from a title, Ochi turned to a closer who had been perfect in the playoffs. The littlest Giant with the biggest heart threw the pitch that cemented the team's place in history.
Romo's 2-2 pitch on the way. Cabrera takes strike 3 called, and the Giants have won the World Series in Detroit. And the celebration begins as the Giants mob the mound. And not only have the Giants won the World Series, they have swept the Tigers in 4 games in dominant fashion.
All through chart how these guys were not going to be denied and how they cared for each other. 25 unselfish guys. It's amazing what you can do when you play as a team.
We bought into something you don't see happen very often. We bought into playing for each other. We bought into loving playing for each other.
To get 2 in 3 years, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's something I think this time around, I appreciate it even more because I understand the difficulty of doing it.
So many guys got with their own struggles in the 2012 season. Personally, that was the theme of the 2012 Giants, is persevering, overcoming that adversity, and really letting our character shine through, which is, we're not going to give up for anybody, and we're not going to listen to the naysayers. We're just going to listen to the voice in our heart that tells us that, we have a strength beyond our own, and we're going to keep going.
If San Francisco's first title had generated wild euphoria, the second brought a deep satisfaction. The players who had overcome so much, and the fans who followed them with such passion, had created a team that truly reflected the character of its city.
If there's one thing that I've noticed about my team is we are a great example of this city. Look at the diversity of personalities, where we're all come from, the different faces from different places, the different folks from different strokes. You look at each one of my teammates and we all got a different story. But we all had one goal in mind. We all had one job in mind. We all had one, dream at mind, and that's to become World Series champions as a group. We couldn't have done that without you, City of San Francisco. Like I said, you guys better be proud. You guys need to be proud. And I tell you this for dang sure, we are all World Series champions here. We're orange and black in San Francisco, and that's what's up.
This group, in one pitch, they justified that expectation. And now they stand before you today, humbly stand before you today. And their accomplishment has matched the ferocity of your